What do Wiccans and witches really believe? Hi, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com, and if you're new to this channel and you want to start a practice that connects you deeply to yourself, nature and the divine without all the hassle of not knowing where to start and the fear of getting it all wrong, then hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss anything. In this video, I want to talk about what Wiccans believe and then a little bit about the differences between Wicca and witchcraft, because there is a difference between traditional witchcraft and Wiccan witchcraft. Wicca itself is a religion. What constitutes it as a religion is that we work with deity. So we work with various deities. Technically, Wicca is seen as a duotheistic religion, meaning that we have a god and a goddess. So that's two deities instead of one, which would be a monotheistic religion. But even though we have a god, the masculine, and a goddess, the feminine, so that we have a balance of the male and female energies in our spirituality, we also have many goddesses and gods as well as part of that goddess and god figure. So we're polytheistic as well. To us, all gods represent one god and all goddesses are one goddess. And that doesn't mean that they're just one thing. It means that we're all part of each other. We are part of a connected universe. So there is a unity to everything. We are all connected. We are all one. We don't see deity as being that unity or that oneness. We see deity as being part of that unity and oneness, the expression of that unity, the expression of the multiplicity within the unity. So it's the way that the united consciousness or that source consciousness expresses itself. It expresses itself through us and through all of the different expressions of itself, which is the gods and goddesses. Wicca is a synthesis of various different religious traditions. Gerald Gardner, he was very inspired by the Malay people, where he's living in Malaysia when he was younger and worked there. And he was very inspired by their indigenous and pagan religion, that he wanted to bring it back into European culture because he knew that we'd lost it and he wanted to bring it back. So Wicca came out of that desire to come back to the pagan roots, which it does do, but also he added to it elements from Freemasonry, elements from some of Aleister Crowley's work, Rosicrucianism, and formed a religious form from that. Wicca is a contemporary religion. All religions, every single religion was a contemporary religion at the time it was created. Every religion was created. Every religion started somewhere and started with someone. Because Wicca is new doesn't mean that it's any less real or potent or true than any of the religions that may be older than it. And it's really important to understand that. Just because something is old doesn't mean it's better. Just because something is old doesn't mean it's true. And just because something is new doesn't mean that it's better either. And it doesn't mean that it's not true because it's new. And you can't have anything new anymore. All religions started somewhere. Wicca is more recent than most of the other religions out there. Gerald Gardner wanted to bring witchcraft back because he was inspired by the writings of Margaret Murray and Leyland and a lot of people who were doing research on that subject around the time. And so he started to call what he was doing witchcraft. He said that he did belong to a coven, that he had been initiated into a coven, that had survived the Christianization of Europe. We still don't know how true that is. There's no evidence to suggest that it was true. It may be, it may not be. We don't know. The point is that he really did believe in bringing all of that back into our culture, and that he did do. Traditional witchcraft, on the other hand, is something that has been practiced since humans started practicing spirituality. Traditional witchcraft is shamanism. It's exactly the same thing. It's working with the spirits, it's working with the energies of the land. They generally don't work with deities. Some do. It depends. I mean, there's so many different types of witchcraft out there now. that some work with deities, some don't. Some of the very traditional witches are more like the shamans. They're working with the earth energies, the spirits of the land, the energies of the land, and crafting just like the shamans would. And that's the difference. Gerald Gardner brought some of that into witchcraft, into Wicca. So the traditional witchcraft is there. So is a lot of other expressions and inspirations from various other traditions are in there with Wicca as well. Wicca is not limited to Gerald Gardner's thing anymore. Some traditional Wiccans, Gardnerian Wiccans, will stick to that structure, which is fine. But because Wicca and witchcraft are progressive religions, meaning they don't fossilize like so many other religions do, that they're able to change as our consciousness changes. So as we raise our consciousness, pagan religions can also adapt and grow as well, because they're not fixed religions. And that's what's wonderful about not being a fixed religion. Wicca isn't fixed. I'm eclectic. My practices involve practices from many different traditions, and not just pagan European pagan traditions either, but also practices from Buddhism and Taoism and all sorts of places, because we live in a multicultural place now, and we're exposed to the wisdom of many, many different cultures. And religions such as Buddhism, Taoism are pagan religions anyway, and we have a lot of things in common with them. So there's no harm in learning meditation and how Buddhists do meditation, how the Taoists work with qi or energy. All of these things are important to our practice. And because Wicca is a European-based practice, we lost so much of that. So much of our history has been lost. So much of our practices, our original pagan practices that were pre-Christian, have been lost, except for families that have sort of kept them going underground. We kind of need to reconstruct what it is that we're doing now and relearn how to be pagan again, because we lost it all. Because we honour nature and the earth and the feminine divine as well as the masculine, we honour the seasons. So we have what we call Sabbats, which are various times of the year. There's the solstices and the equinoxes, and then there's other important times in between, where we honour not just the cycles of the earth and what the seasons are going through, but also our cycles and our seasons that we're going through in our lives as well. Because all of this isn't just about the earth, we also honour the astrology as well. We work with the spirits of the earth, the natural elements of the earth. We work with the lunar cycles, so we're working with the new moon, the dark moon, the full moon, and all of the stages of waxing and waning in between. We understand the energies that the earth is moving through and aligning with those energies so that we can be fully more who we really are as spiritual beings in human bodies. Aligning with the animals, with the plants, with all aspects of nature. That is loosely what Wicca and witchcraft are about. As I said, there's eclectic Wiccans out there, eclectic witches out there, and there's also different types of Wiccans and witches. You can get green witches, hedge witches, you can get Alexandrian Wiccans, Gardnerian Wiccans, all sorts of people following different traditions that have been started by different people. And because there's so many more of us practicing now, we're much more open to what is going on around us. So Wicca isn't confined to being that historical thing that happened back in the 1950s and 60s. There is the Wiccan Rede, which is harm none, do what thou wilt. That comes from Aleister Crowley's do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, love is the law, love under will. That is all about higher will and love. It's not about just doing what your ego wants you to do. It is about aligning with your higher will. And as long as it doesn't harm anyone or anything, aligning with your true will, which if you're aligning with your true will, it shouldn't be really harming anyone or anything, is really the path of the deepest love. So it's about allowing yourself to follow your true path. Be who you truly are. Work through all of the programming that you've gone through where you've been trying to be who other people want you to be, and you've been programmed to be who other people want you to be or who you think you should be, but really finding out who you truly are underneath all of that programming. That is really the path of the magician and the Wiccan and the witch, is aligning with your true will and aligning that with love. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends. Please comment below about your experiences and your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you are wanting to develop a daily practice, I have a 5-day daily practice video series which takes you step by step through a very basic daily practice to actually get you going, get you connecting with yourself, nature, and the divine. The link is in the description field below. I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com, and I'll see you in the next video. Blessed be.